It's time now to check in with the eNCA Money Desk, and Ropiwa Madzena is standing by. Ropiwa, the restaurant industry happy for a change that the country has remained on level 1 of the lockdown, but the debate continues around mandatory vaccination.
That's right, Tula. So following the emergence of that new Omicron variant and the pending fourth wave, there have been a lot of debates happening and calls to allow vaccinated people in certain public spaces. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa yesterday said that government has set up a task team that will look into mandatory vaccinations for specific sectors. I've got Wendy Alberts now, who's the Chief Executive of the Restaurant Association of South Africa, joining me to unpack details around these vaccine mandates. And Wendy, when I first heard the president make that pronouncement about a task team being established to look at vaccine mandates, I wondered about your industry in particular. It would be very difficult for a restaurant owner to turn away a patron that hasn't been vaccinated, because that's a little bit of revenue that they would be turning away essentially.
We'd like to obviously open up today's media brief by, applauding the president for the good work that he actually did, the swift response that he did in the response to the international travel ban. That has really resulted in a complete decimation of the international travel market for us. We certainly were reliant on the festive trade within the international space to be able to bring some form of recovery on the economical scale to us. It's been 2 years of complete and utter difficult times for us. And we've challenged government, while we're in this situation now, where there are all these tick boxes that we've ticked for government. For the last 2 years, we've certainly been very eloquent. We have certainly been very sophisticated. We've been very supportive. We've done everything on that scope. So when government started, we did takeaways. It was deliveries. It was bottle stores that we were, and then we were coffee shops, and then we became roadhouses and picnic spots and so forth. It has only been now, since 6 weeks ago, that we've been able to trade our business in the capacity that our business models are actually said to be. So we've supported government on every level, vaccinations on that list included. And then we asked government, what was the mandate on the onset? What was the dialogue that was set out at the beginning of lockdown in order to support the economy, to ensure that we don't shut down the economy and bring the least amount of impact on livelihoods? And that dialogue was to get the health industry set and ready to be able to receive the number of beds, to be able to ensure that we had support for people that contracted COVID. And also over the last 2 years, we've just been beaten and bantered around the block about liquor and alcohol, and that we're responsible for all the trauma cases. We have to change the dialogue, and we have to get government to change the response of the way in which we manage COVID. Simply shutting on and off our economy doesn't lend itself for us to be able to move through difficult stages like this. Now that the international trade is completely decimated, and this really is a complete economic sabotage on our side, we now need to rely heavily on domestic trade, and we've seen that the damage is done. So in the last couple of hours, we've seen so many people taking to cancellations, international cancellations, and this really was a springboard for us to be able to recover some of the debt that we've been in. It's not that government has supported us by switching off the ability for us to pay debt. There's been an expectation of us to pay 100% of debt while we've been trading at 12% of turnover. And if we continue to make any type of suggestion in terms of any type of
Wendy, we are running out of time, unfortunately.
We are going to have a bloodbath on our hands.
Yeah, we are running out of time, unfortunately, Wendy, but I have to ask you if there's been any indication of a formal consultation process with government stakeholders when it comes to vaccine mandates, and really also, if you could, in that answering of the question, the restaurant industry's vaccination policy around staff members and the like.
We certainly have put ourselves out there at any level to government, and we've highlighted government, talk to us, collaborate with us. In the last 2 years, we said there's enough information at hand to be able to talk to us, to be able to set a new way forward in ensuring that we can move through the challenges that each wave brings. We find it completely perplexed that, this prediction has been set. There's been an announcement that has come over the last couple of weeks that they've been anticipating this new wave. And yet the only solution is a threat to switch the economy on and off and to switch our businesses on and off. This is a complete abdication of government's responsibility to ensure that the economy stays open, that people stay employed, and that our businesses continue to trade. And we're sitting here again saying we're happy to meet with the president, we're happy to meet with the Minister of Tourism, we're happy to meet with any ministerial division in order for us to ensure that we don't move into any type of lockdown. our industry has displayed the highest level of protocols at all levels. We've done everything in support of government to ensure that we save lives and livelihoods and that we execute all the protocols and directives. And no type of lockdown is going to help us. That will be complete and utter economical suicide for the country, for the industry, and for people. You know, we need to be moving into a position where we have confident communications and the country feels confidence in employment, that we're able to build our businesses, that we're able to trade through lockdowns without the threat of closing down the industry unannounced and irresponsibly.
Thank you very much for those insights. Wendy Albert, who's the Chief Executive Officer of the Restaurants Association of South Africa.